This episode of the Save Par Golf Podcast is brought to you by Odin.
Welcome to the Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Eric.
I'm your host, Dominic.
We are currently on episode 55, and we have a lot to talk about. Tony Romo qualified for his first USGA championship. DJ is filthy rich as he becomes the Live Individual Golf Champion. And we're also answering fan-submitted questions. Dom, we're riding solo tonight. It's been a while. How you feeling?
I like it.
It is a nice change.
Yeah. I love all the guests we have, and I love kind of learning about all the guests, but sometimes I get just kind of mentally overwhelmed.
It's a lot of work. It's time-consuming.
Yeah.
Not only that, there's a little bit of that pressure and anxiety because you just don't know how everyone's going to respond.
Well, yeah, I don't want people to hate us. Like, that's a whole other thing where it's like, man, I don't want it to be super awkward. Luckily everybody you've had has been great. It's been super, it just flows really well. I also put together little promo stuff, so I'm happy not to have to do that for a week until later on. But
so it's kind of a smooth sailing episode this week, and it is episode 55. It's crazy. You were talking about earlier how many episodes have we?
So I think last year we did 22.
So we're cooking.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to do that. We have a lot of cool upcoming guests.
Actually, I can tell you, because on our Spotify Wrapped, not to get too sidetracked, I posted it, and I was like, wow, this is nuts. Yeah, we did 22 episodes last year.
Sweet. Well, that was one of our goals, is to continue to put out more content, and we've definitely have been doing that, and we will continue to do that. And again, we do have a lot of cool guests coming up in the near future, so we are pretty much booked all the way up until December now, so stay tuned for that. Kind of a lot in the news here in the golf industry. We have mentioned it here in the intro, Tony Romo. So he didn't qualify individually. He basically teamed up with 18-year-old Tommy Morrison, who I believe plays college golf in Texas. And so they qualified, and now they are going to be competing in the next year's U.S. Amateur Four-Ball Championship. So good for
cool.
Tony Romo.
Yeah. No, I've heard he's always been really good at golf. So it's cool to see him actually do well in a tournament, I guess, even though it's not a solo one. But
how cool that would be if he's literally commentating for his own tournament. Because he's an awesome.
Honestly, he could, but they won't put him on the match.
They wouldn't. No, but too much. But that'd be kind of funny.
They could. You could put him with I don't know who's. I'm not really into the match stuff anymore. But that'd be sweet to have Tony Romo on, because he would probably commentate his own stuff. He'd commentate the other person's backswing and try to throw him off.
Yeah, I don't think they'll allow that, but it would be kind of cool to see. So good for Tony Romo. I've actually always liked him. I know he was a former Cowboys quarterback, so he always took a lot of heat. There was a lot of people that liked him, but I feel like he's definitely a lot more people gravitate to liking him now.
His commentating is spot on. The fact that there'll be times where it's he's gonna say, oh, so-and-so is gonna do this or do that, and then they do it and it goes exactly how Tony Romo says it. The guy should be a coordinator, some kind of coach somewhere.
Super impressive. I think, did he sign a huge deal too, or he's going to?
No, he already did. He's
right?
Staying with whoever he's been commentating. Is it NBC?
I think it is.
Yeah, or somebody.
Yeah, I believe it is.
So yeah, he's staying with them, and it's I think the biggest broadcaster deal ever or something.
Good for him. He's making all that money commentating. He knows what he's doing. He's literally picking their brain right before the play develops, and he's also golfing.
Yeah.
And pursuing his career of trying to be a professional golfer. So
that's sweet. Good for him.
Yeah.
It's a lot like J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is killing it as well.
Except he's going straight back to school.
Yeah.
So, which still, is almost more impressive.
Yeah. To go from the NBA to college golf, which I can't imagine.
Winning championships, too.
Yeah. I can't imagine how hard it is to play college golf.
Seems like he's really enjoying it. But yeah.
Yeah. It seems like he's having so much fun.
So good for Tony Romo. They just had a live event out in Bangkok, which I might totally butcher this guy's name, but
we're gonna butcher it.
Eugenio Lopez Chicara.
Is it Eugenio?
Yes.
Just like Suarez from the Mariners? Eugenio?
That certainly could be.
Can you show it to me?
Yeah.
Where is it? Eugenio.
Perfect. See, that's why I said it, so Dom could correct me. Dom, it's correcting me here. But I believe I was going to try to find this before we hopped on, but it was a little hectic. But I think he was either on the Corn Ferry Tour. He was one of those like prospects that joined. So
Sure.
he's a super young guy. So he just took home $4 million for individual winning the Bangkok
God,
live
that's
event.
sweet.
So good for him. I know there's probably going to be people that are listening to this um, that I'm like, we don't care about live golf, and I understand if you don't, but
They're doing
this
some cool things.
they
Like
really
whether
are.
you want to admit it or not, I know I've said this quite a few times. Everybody's like, "Man, the competition isn't there." Blah blah blah. Well, if you have to compare the competition at the Corn Ferry to playing on Live, you can't tell me the competition is not better on Live. Because obviously you're going from playing against not really nobodies, but like in a sense nobodies or the future stars. So now, congrats, you're playing against Dustin Johnson, Cam Smith, all these other guys. Like it makes more sense for the younger guys like this.
Well, when we had Alex Romo on too, it's like the amount of money, time, energy that you have just to even get to that point, let alone to finish in the top certain amount of people to qualify to make it to the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're able to get invited to sign a contract with Live
Yeah,
Golf, I mean,
I mean that alone, it pays for your flights. Well, maybe they don't pay for them, but like you at least have the money to pay for your flights, your hotel, your food.
yep.
It makes a lot more sense.
They have two more events left, I believe. And then also, it was just announced Dustin Johnson clinched the title as the 2022 Live Golf Individual Champion, which netted him, I believe, an additional $18 million bonus. So he's won $30 million this season. And that's in addition to the signing fee when he joined, which I believe they estimated was $125 million over 4 years.
Jesus,
So, I mean, guys,
good for
filthy
him.
rich. Um,
And he gets to go home to Paulina.
he has that too.
Filthy rich and lucky.
Now he can spend a lot of his time right now fishing, like
Isn't
he
he big into
enjoys.
like deep sea fishing?
Big into fishing. So yeah, that was kind of I wanted to cover that short little nugget on live golf. Like I said, I know some people don't really care to listen to that, um, but yeah, I wanted to mention that. And then I know
Right.
we'll just kind of hint over this, but I know I didn't throw it in the intro, but there was two video game announcements or dates, I should say. The PGA Tour 2K23 that releases October 14th, so that's coming out. Actually, that will release on the day that you're listening to this episode.
Oh,
So
sweet.
that's
God,
pretty cool.
it's still wild to me. Like we pre-record these and then drop them, so people listen to our conversation from a few days ago. It's hard to wrap my head around.
It really is. So yeah, you if you're listening right now, it just came out. And
Congrats. You can go play as Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, Michael Jordan. That is pretty cool. I haven't played video games in a while.
I might get this one just so I can play as Steph Curry or
That'd be
Michael
sweet.
Jordan or
I
that'd
like
be
that.
pretty
I
sweet.
like they're expanding that and making it like
Because I felt like the last one just got so old so fast because it's so repetitive. Be kind of cool to play as people. I think you can play as some women too, can't you? Isn't
yep,
Michelle Wee? Maybe not
yep.
Michelle Wee, but
The cool thing too is like
Lexi
they had like
Thompson maybe.
Nalbon Golf on there,
Yeah,
which is so cool. Could you imagine? Like
that'd be a
that's awesome.
sweet guest.
Yep, very cool.
That's not dropping a hint or anything. Like we don't have them lined up, but
No,
like
we do not have that, but
shout out
down the road
Melbourne.
for sure, that would be sweet. And then the PGA Tour Road to the Masters is coming this spring, which I think is going to be really cool. They just posted a video on Instagram today, which that was like one of the games that I remember when they playing in the Masters and all that. I
What
think that'd
is
be
that?
really cool. That comes out this spring. But it's called PGA Tour Road to the Masters. So kind of the introduction of the video is basically them going down Magnolia Lane right into the clubhouse, Augusta National. Looks pretty sick. So that one comes out this spring or next spring, I should say, or this coming spring, 2023. So yeah, if you're into video games, keep your eyes open for those two games. Dom's searching it right now.
Interesting. I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, I believe they just released it today. I saw it earlier this morning. So
Oh, here we go. FAQ. There's a lot of courses on it too.
mhm.
You can play in all the majors and LPGA events.
Yep,
That's pretty sweet.
I like that they're kind of adding that component to the golf game. 'Cause it's like,
I wonder how it's going to be different than 2K though. Obviously, it's different, like developers and everything. I believe. I don't know.
that you'd have to fact check that one. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I don't know, but I guess I want to know how it's going to be different. I don't know.
Only time will tell.
I'll probably get both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't played video games in quite a while, but I'd definitely like to try those out. Um,
Yeah, my buddy and I, totally off topic, but we goofed around one night and won a Rocket League tournament.
You were telling me about that.
Like we straight up just like whooped everybody.
That game is so fun. I literally go in spurts in video games though. I will like for a month, I'll play it like a couple days a
Hmm.
week straight for a couple hours, and then I won't touch it forever. Like right now, my
Yeah.
PS4 is collecting dust.
Yeah, like I don't know what happened. We just kind of went on like a streak where I think we only lost one game, and that was like in like the best of five or whatever. Otherwise, we just smoked everybody.
Are you playing 3v3?
No, this
It is
is
2v2.
duos. Yeah,
Okay, sweet.
3v3 sucks. Duos is easy because then it's like I can yell at him and he can yell at me.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah,
can. Yep. No, that makes sense. I would normally play though. I don't have any friends, so I play 3v3 with
sure,
just random people. But that game is super addicting.
it
It's
is.
like hard, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I feel
yeah.
like you can get really good at it, but it's still like difficult to
Well,
like
I feel like if
master.
when you get really good at it, you just waste all your time.
Yeah, are you
Like,
like super? Well, you just won tournaments, so I'm assuming you're
no, we're
probably pretty good.
no,
No,
no. I don't know how I'm ranked when I am. Like, I generally have no idea.
do we need to play that though
Yeah, we
sometime
won a
for sure?
platinum tournament too.
Dang, so that's
Which,
like the like step up from just like your because there's like different levels of tournament play. Like you have to be certain like ranked or a certain amount of wins or
I'm
something,
not
right?
sure.
Well, if anyone listen, let me know. I have a PS4. I'd like to play too.
Well, I have one too. You could literally like
I know, but I never get invited.
you're never on it.
That's true.
You just said it. Your
It's
PS4 is
true. I'm
collecting dust.
streaky. I am streaky when it comes to PS4 playing video games. So yeah, so there's a lot of video game talk. That's kind of random. We haven't really talked video games.
I have the new Pokemon game on pre-order too. Found that out.
We're just letting them all out.
It helps me relieve my stress. Okay, it like gives
Which console is this on?
my Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like I can like take it and it helps me just kind of unwind after a day.
So which Pokemon game? I haven't even seen the.
Violet because I love purple.
Okay.
Do I know what it's about?
Not a
No.
clue. I grew up though playing the Game Boy Blue,
So did I. I
Pokemon
grew
Red.
up
Yeah.
with like Fire Red and
Yep.
everything, and
Yep.
like Emerald was my jam. So it's like, well, now that I have a Switch, it's kind of been my way to like unwind
Sure.
after a long day. Just kind of play some games, whatever, and then just put it down, go to bed.
So since we're talking about video games, I'll add one more to it. I can't remember the name. I thought it was a brand new game. This shows you how old I am. But my nephew is like a super whiz at this game. But it's called like Geo Block or something or Geo or Geometry something.
I don't know what that
It's
is.
like it's like you can create levels and then like you can play levels and there's like all these different. There's thousands of levels, but it's basically kind of like almost like Mario, but you're like a little geometry block,
Oh,
and you like like you jump like it's
okay,
kind of like it's actually really cool and it's very addicting. He was creating levels for me to play over the weekend,
sure.
and
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that one.
it's you can get the free or the light version on your phone or
Sure.
whatever, but there's like it's like $3 to buy it, and then you can like unlock all the levels and create levels. So
One game I really got into is back in the day, well, like 3 years ago, I really got into Skyrim, like heavy.
okay,
I
yeah,
had it. I had it when we had a PlayStation 3, and now I have a PS4, and I've had one for a while. That game, God, you can kill like 7 days on it, and then not even do the main quest.
really.
It's
I
beautiful.
haven't played that game. I've definitely heard of it. I've seen people play it, but I haven't personally played it.
It's
But it's super addicting from what I've
Yeah, I
heard.
mean it's super fun. And I'm not like super into like gaming or anything like that, but just like stuff that like I can kind of just unwind to. I'm really more into.
Yep.
Like I'm not really into Call of Duty or anything for that reason. It's just more,
That was my game. That would be my game that I would fire back up and play
yeah.
it for like 3 days straight.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. It just doesn't it's not fun for me to just sit there and die all the time.
I will say before I played Call of Duty, which I don't really play anymore, but um, everyone always talk about it like, oh, we're gonna play COD, blah blah. I'm like,
Hmm.
dude, that's so annoying. Like, I'm like,
That
this is
I
stupid.
remember when I was younger, everyone's like, "Oh man, like this is like Modern Warfare 2 days."
Yep.
Like that was like the thing you would do. And of course, I didn't have a PlayStation or anything, so it's like I would go over to like a buddy's house and go play. That was like peak Call of Duty because then it was more fun.
Yep.
Granted, you still have like game breaking stuff, but now I just feel like it's just kind of like
It's yeah, there's so many games now too. I got into the original Black Ops, so that was like right after the Call of Duty
that one
2.
was
That was
fun.
the one that
Yeah.
I got into, and I love those games. But holy cow, a lot of video game talk, but it's kind of nice to switch it up a little bit. I know we normally it's food, and which we'll talk about food probably too, of
Mm.
course, but we went straight off the video game like tangent for a little while there. But I had seen just to switch it up, I had seen a a clip, and I can't remember exactly who it was from, so I apologize. But I wanted to ask you. So when you're golfing, I think I know this answer, but when you were golfing, you wear a golf glove.
Mm-hmm.
Do you keep it on the whole round? Like, do you take it off at any point?
Yes, I
You do.
take it off.
Okay, so
Yeah,
like when you're putting.
yeah.
Okay.
Or even like sometimes like we'll play and it's kind of hot. I don't like when my hands get really sweaty, so I'll take it off just to, like breathe it out when we're in the cart. I used to just kind of keep it on, just out of like just being easier. But now that we're playing more and we're more into it, I do take it off.
Yeah, I've always been the one to take my glove off when I'm getting up to the green, so like I'm ready to putt. I will say though that there are times I feel like a lot of people, or even some of the people I've played with, and even myself included, that if you're like really far, like you're on the green but you're really far away,
Hmm.
you'll keep your glove on. And I know some people would call me like a psychopath for that
I
because
will in certain weather conditions, and that might be kind of like a hot take, but if it's kind of cold, I like to have at least one of my hands kind of working.
sure.
And it's cold here quite a bit. Um, I wouldn't say it's a psychopath. I don't know.
I, I think more is like when you don't take your glove off at all, like you literally just wear it the whole round. Like even when you're
Yeah,
putting, like you don't really see anyone do that, like
yeah. I
just like
mean,
on the pros or anything like
if
that.
I'm gonna go up and just kind of tap it in, I'll just leave it on because I know I'm gonna put it right back on
When
anyways.
you throw a dart and you're just about to just tap in for birdie or
Well,
par,
if I throw a dart and you're like, "Hey, it's good,
yeah,
sweet, yeah," I'll just leave it on because I don't want to take it
makes
off.
sense.
I like my gloves though; like mine are really comfortable. I only wear the G4
Those are sick
gloves.
gloves.
They don't sponsor me at all, but if they want to, I am totally down. Um,
A lot of cool colors, and
they're just
they are really nice.
they're
But
really comfortable. Like a lot of times, I kind of forget it's there, even though I do always have kind of like a funky colored one. Because I think I've had pink, I've had a mint one. I
I've had
think
the orange, the blue. There's like a two-tone blue one that looks pretty
this
cool.
year, I bought two of them. I only used one. I have like a navy, like a dark navy one that I really
Okay.
like.
Yep. Yeah, they have awesome gloves.
Yeah, they're just comfortable.
I'm trying to think of what else we've had. So our previous guest, we talked a lot of food, and I'm trying to think. Have you had any crazy dishes? I know we have that chat, and we've had some pretty good.
Yeah, we're in a group chat with a couple other people we've had on the pod, and I said this earlier. I think I'm the funniest one in there.
You definitely have some good
I have
little.
some good little zingers.
Yeah, you definitely do. That's for sure. Um, but
I
yeah, no, I
did.
love that how we just another cool thing about this whole podcast, this golf community, is that like we've got into these group chats now
Hmm.
where we're literally, I feel like we're like, you go to a restaurant and you see like this guy or this girl taking a picture of their meal. Like now it's not to like post on Instagram, it's just to like
It's
actually
just to
send it
share with
on
the
Instagram.
boys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
share with the boys.
Right.
Um, Actually, I did have something kind of interesting. So not last weekend, but the weekend before on Saturday, there's a Shake Shack by where I work, and they recently came out with like a Hot Ones theme stuff. Do you know what Hot Ones is?
I feel like I've heard of it. What is
It's
it?
the show with hot questions and even hotter wings.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about, or you would ask me about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
shout out Hot Ones. They don't, no way in hell they hear this, but like I love it. Um, they came out with like a Hot Ones menu. So like I got a chicken sandwich with like Swiss cheese and then a Hot Ones hot sauce on it. And it was super good.
Is it pretty hot?
It was hot, but it tasted good.
Sure.
That's the difference. Like if it's super hot and it just doesn't taste good, I'm not into it. This one was really good. The chicken sandwich was really, really good too. I know they have a burger with it and then fries with it,
Okay.
but it's really good.
And is that considered like a fast food, or is that like a sit?
I think it's considered fast food, but to me, it's a good fast
Sure.
food, kind of like Taco Bell.
I don't think I've really had anything new. Actually, no, I take that
You
back.
had that plant based.
Yeah, did we talk about that on the? I don't think we talked about it on the last episode. I sent
No,
it in
we
a
were
group
gonna
chat.
get some today, but we had a meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. It's a new plant-based, kind of like a fast food type of deal too. And I'm not really into fast food in general. I mean, I used to love fast food, so I'm not trying to.
I'm getting some tonight.
Yeah, but and I'm not like against or for anything really. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So like,
yeah.
I'm not trying to take one side or the other, but
It has its place.
it does. Yeah, it's expensive, and I can understand why.
Hmm.
But I will say, I got my wife and a couple of the family members. They got burgers, and then I got the you know how they have the Tennessee hot chicken
Yeah,
sandwich, so I got that, and it was really good. I mean, it was awesome, spicy, good flavor, and then I had the buffalo cauliflower.
yeah,
Those were money.
yeah.
So yeah, it was really good. Expensive, but again, if you're into like the plant-based type of food, it's really only in Minnesota right now. I'm assuming they'll probably expand nationwide because they own another like a salad company, which they've already kind of went nationwide. So assuming down the road they will open up. But I did try. We were in a wedding over the weekend, and there's a brewery that had some freaking amazing wood-fired pizza, and it was good. And you know what I tried? So normally I'm your standard like my go-to pizza is pepperoni, mushroom, and jalapeno normally with the
Mm,
red pepper flakes, so it's pretty spicy.
it sounds good
Yeah,
until it comes out.
that's my go-to. Yeah. But I actually tried margarita pizza.
Those are bomb.
So good.
There's a place in right by where I work that has them. It's my favorite.
Super. Yeah, it's something that I just never really would try, but
Yeah,
I did, and
yeah. I
so
usually
there you go. I
put
tried something new.
I get the margarita pizza, and then I put prosciutto, pepperoni, and mushrooms.
I love mushrooms.
I
It's
do
like
too.
one of my all-time favorite toppings. Besides jalapenos and mushrooms are like my go-to.
I'm not big on putting peppers on pizza, just because I also don't like. Sometimes I don't like when peppers are cooked because they get kind of soggy. I'm that way with mushrooms though.
Yeah,
It has to be a certain way.
sure.
Like I can never eat a grilled one because they get kind of spongy. You know, I'd rather just eat one raw.
Mushroom?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Oh no, see,
yeah.
I like to grill them,
You just
but
pop
I
them.
know what you're saying though. Like they do get a little spongy, but um,
So before we get too off topic, I did look at what the hot sauce is on the sandwich. I think it's specific for Shake Shack. It's the Hot One Spicy Shack sauce, and I'll show you a picture.
that looks super
It's
good.
super good. And I even ate it cold, and I downed it.
Speaking of cold, you that was a perfect transition. I was going to ask you about the pizza. Are you a big cold pizza fan?
Depends on the pizza.
Okay.
Like some pizza, not good cold.
I feel like if it's like that, like national chain style of pizza, then it's normally okay cold.
It
Like
depends
you
though
get like the
too.
brick or the oven pizza, like
Margarita pizza cold is bomb.
is it? Okay.
Yes.
See, because I would prefer like the wood fire type of style pizza, but
Mm.
if we do like order like a Domino's, Papa John, whatever it might be,
I'm more of
that'd
a
be really
Papa
cool.
John's guy because I like their sauce. I'm not a
Yeah,
huge Domino's guy. Those are good cold. I don't like some pizza chains. That might be why I don't like those ones cold.
sure.
But like, I'm not a big like Jets. I know people like rave
It's
over
good, but I
Jets.
don't think I'd want to eat it cold.
I don't like Jets
That's
regardless, and I cannot stand Little Caesars.
oh, I love the breadsticks at Little
But do you
Caesars.
love the pizza or the breadsticks?
I haven't had in a long time, but mainly it was the breadsticks.
Sure,
Yeah, but the hard thing was that back in the day they were $5 pizzas, so it's like
they
hard.
still are.
It's like quality or quantity. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like trying to.
no, yeah.
But I agree with
It's
you.
like for $5, but then like you have $5 pizza.
They're
That's
pretty good pizza actually. They're
better
good pizza.
than Little Caesars, and
Yeah.
it's $5. I remember back when I was in high school, that was like the thing to do is somebody would go, "Hey, I'm going to $5 pizza. Who has money?" And somebody would sneak out of class and go get $5 pizza and bring it all back. I don't know why they let us sneak out of class either.
I love the pizza talk. That's probably
I
one
know
of
my
my.
parents listen. I did not sneak out of class. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a driver's license. I did not participate in it. The only thing I did was I hid in Otto's class. They put the cars on the lift, you know?
Yeah,
A lot of us would hide in the cars and raise them up, and we'd all sit in there.
and and do homework.
Honestly, I don't remember what we did.
It's good.
We were just kind of like we were just kind of sit up there, and eventually the teacher's like, "Hey,
Where the heck is
like
everyone?
that's not okay," and we're like, "What are you gonna do?" And they're like, "It's don't get caught." I was like, "Sick."
All right, let's transition. So we've already kind of covered some live, some PGA Tour, some video game talk, some food talk. Dom, why don't you go ahead and you posted a story on the podcast page earlier, and we've had a decent amount of
Yeah, if you're not following us on Instagram, one, you're doing it wrong.
got to follow the Safe
Yeah,
Par Golf
at
podcast.
Stay for Our Golf Podcast, um,
Yes,
and you will get my lovely dry messages. So I posted earlier that we don't have a guest today, but what do they want us to talk about? So we'll start from the first and we'll go to the latest or the
sure.
newest, just in case we get a few more along the way. So this one is from Big Choke Golf. Um, they asked, "What do you look forward to in a scramble? socializing, giving back, competition. So I've never played in a scramble. I know we hosted one, and I was busy drinking at one of the holes
I had played, yeah, I've played
with
in,
your cousin.
yeah. I would say that's actually a really good question.
I
Um,
know for me, what I would look forward to is just like assuming it's a four-man, it'd be me and the buddies, me, you, and then two other guys. And I'm assuming we know the two other guys.
yeah.
I'm assuming it'd be more fun versus us really trying to win.
Yeah, I feel like that whole scramble thing is more of a social event of having a
Hmm.
good time. It takes a little bit of pressure off of your individual game because you have three other people to kind of, help you out
Yeah,
in case you're not playing well. And the whole, like, depending on what the tournament's for, like, the whole donation thing is a big thing.
yeah.
So, like, the charity style, I think those are the two probably most important things. And honestly, I feel like the whole it's kind of a cliched thing for scramble tournaments, but I feel like whoever wins that tournament is totally looked at as the
The
sandbagger and
try
just the,
hard.
the
Yeah.
cheater that doesn't even, that's not so it's like I don't even know if I'd want to win it
No, I'd
at
want to
that point.
go and just kind of have fun. And I think for me, to kind of answer the question, I'd love to socialize with people. I'm not super into being super competitive on the golf course, especially in that kind of setting. I think it'd be fun just to kind of, do what we did. We met people, and even some of those people we still talk to, and they've been on the podcast and everything. So,
For sure. No, that's a great question.
Wyatt Fisher asked, what kinds of music sets playlist while playing golf? So this one's super cool because we can kind of shout out Odin. They have their own little playlist. I don't know if you've listened to any of
I
them.
haven't yet. I've seen it. Yeah.
I put one in my car or
Sweet.
listen to one in my car, nothing but an O thing.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of picture Jordan and crew kind of just going ham on the computer. Um, for me, it's a lot of just kind of music to get me amped, whether it's like I say it all the time, but it's like Pop Smoke. Um, lately, it's been more The Weekend because I love The Weekend,
Did you like Friday, Saturday? Which, like, what's your favorite day?
all of them. Sometimes Monday. Um, just really music to like keep me calm or like get me pumped up. Nothing too crazy though. Otherwise, I get kind of too amped up.
Yeah, it depends on the
Time of day
time of
too.
day. Yeah.
Because I don't think I can be blasting Pop Smoke at 8 a.m.
I mean, you could.
I could.
They feel invincible. You could invincible. You could play
Vince,
that one.
yeah,
I mean, that would wake you up, I think. But
or
that's a really good
Dior.
question. Yep. I really like I don't know, alternative music, but I do like hip hop as well. But I do like that. I will say, like in the summertime, I like not like the EDM, but kind of that
Yeah,
electronic music,
yeah, yeah.
especially like in the summer. That's got that very like
I
beachy summer
yeah.
vibe.
I really love like throwback, like hip hop, like Will Smith. Speaking of summertime,
Summertime,
that's kind of
that's a sick tune.
kind of got me going in my brain, but like
I like that one.
throwback, Wu Tang. It's kind of just basically what nothing but an old thing is. Hey,
And it also depends too on like how that golf game is feeling,
oh,
how
for
you're feeling.
sure, yeah,
Are you eight over par right now, or are you like
probably.
only like two over par? It's like, are you kind of serious, or are you just having a good time? So yeah, that's a really good question. But I would say like it really just depends on the vibe. But I would say alternative or hip hop
One
probably.
we should go back to in the future because I didn't really have time today to do it. Nelson had a really good question, and I always love hearing from Nelson. Nelson is Tacos at the Turn. If you don't follow him,
He's the man. Shout out
Nelson's the
Nelson.
the dude. He's gonna adopt me. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw
He's
that.
gonna adopt me. Shout out, Dad. Um, he said go back a few episodes and pick a topic from each one that you would like to expand on. That's one we'll have to do in the future.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I like that as well.
That's a fun one. Nelson, we'll go back to that. Um, this one is Mr. Misfit 06. I think he just recently followed us.
Awesome. Welcome to the crew.
That is one. That's a name I've seen quite a bit. Live versus PGA and what the future of golf might look like. I think the future of golf is really bright. I guess you could say light. It is really bright, especially with all the young stars, whether they go to live or not. And I mean, even the stars going to live, I mean, it's just another way for people to experience the golf or experience the game of golf and kind of find out if they like it or not.
Yeah, I think it's going to go like one or two ways. Live golf is just going to disappear in the next 5 years,
Mm,
or they're eventually going to get partnered up in some way or another
yeah.
with the PGA Tour.
Whether you like it or not, people are finding out about golf through live. And
Yeah.
that's really at the end of the day all we want, right? We want to grow the game, whether you like it or not.
The problem is right now everything is such a political divide.
It's very
Both,
divisive.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very, and I can understand both sides. Whatever, we're not going to talk politics and all that, but at the end of the day, I think it is good to have the, competition for PGA Tour. And I do hope that they both somehow work together in some way or another.
Somehow,
Because
yeah.
there's so many good golfers on both leagues, really, if you look at it that way. So yeah, I think golf is in a really bright, they have a really bright future in general as far as growing the game. Whether the PGA Tour and Live
Mhm.
come together, we'll see.
One of my favorite ones, and we talked about this earlier, Mike from Back Nines Only. I love Mike.
Mike's the man too.
Mike is the man. I think they won their little tournament thing he was talking
Oh,
about. He and
nice.
his buddy play.
Good for him.
I think they won. They got a little trophy, so it's cute. So hi, Mike. All he said was weed.
Whenever I hear that, I just think of Stephen A. Smith. Stay
Stay
off
off
the
the
weed.
weed. Not for me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Not for me
no.
either. Yeah, we might have let a lot of people down, but hey, if that's your thing, that's your thing.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
our thing.
like I have like these little like THC edible things to help me sleep at night if I ever can't shut off my brain, but that's about the extent of it.
Sure.
Um, One that I really like from guests that we've had in the past. This one's from Mulligans and Hackers. So shout out Chris and Alvin.
Heck yeah.
Shout out Alvin for winning their whole thing this year,
Yes.
and shout out Chris for
Because he got injured though.
no, Chris got injured.
Chris got injured.
Yeah,
Alvin ended up winning it.
yeah. Shout out to both of them.
Yep.
I was on Team Alvin to start with, and nobody believed in me. I believed
maybe
in.
that's why he ended up winning. He won it for you.
I believe you, Alvin. Um, so he wants to know what our ideal bag setup and what clubs and brands would be in your dream setup. And then he gave us a little fist bump emoji.
Heck yeah. Good question.
So that is a good question because I really like my clubs I have now,
That could be a dream
other than
setup.
not having a 7-iron.
I have an extra 7-iron if you wanted.
Funny, right? So right now in my bag, I have the Callaway, I have the new Rogue.
Driver, yeah.
Yeah, I have the Rogue ST. I love it. I like to hit it. I like the feeling of it off the face. And for me being very inconsistent with my driver, I really like that it makes me feel just a little bit safe, a little bit more stable, come through the zone. Um, Otherwise, I have the LTDX irons, which right now is 4 through 6, and then
Minus a 7.
8 through pitching or 8 through gap. And I just don't use the gap wedge because I have my other clubs. And then actually, I have a Haywood driving iron.
That is super
That
nice.
thing rips. I love it.
I think I might actually invest in one of those.
I love it. I really like that club. And then my wedges, I have 56, 58, and 60. 58 is Lucky Wedge, which is sick. I love it.
Sweet.
My 60 is or no, 56 and 60. Maybe you're from Vokey. You have the new Vokey SM whatever's nines,
Yes, I think so.
SM nines. And then my putter, I have a Ping Karsten Answer too. It's like the copper one. I honestly cannot take that Jackson one out of my bag.
That rolls nicely.
I love that putter.
Yeah,
That is one I was super scared about. And, he was, I shouldn't say lucky. We were lucky enough that he sent us a couple over to test out. That is one that does not leave my bag. I like the face feel. I like that I can kind of chip it over some like nasty greens if I have to and not damage anything. Um, I don't know. I love my bag and I love the setup. That's kind of what I would work with. It's hard for me to have a dream setup, especially when I've only really consistently hit Cobra well.
Cobra's a really underrated.
I like their stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be different if I went brand to brand, but like I hit the Cobras I had really well, so I just upgraded to the Cobras.
I kind of went a different route. I love my Haywood irons, which they're awesome. The look, the aesthetic, everything, the feel. I really like them. This is my first full year with them, so I'm still getting used to them. But I've been hitting the ball pretty well. You I like
strike those.
I like those a lot. And then I've been using Cobra has always been my driver. I just got the Cobra LTDX driver and tested it out the other day, and It does sound different. I like it. It's a different sound than the speed zone that I have.
I really like my irons, so I'd imagine the driver is the
Yeah,
same.
it's very nice. And then I just bought the Cobra Rad Speed 3 wood, which I needed an upgrade, so I like that as
That's
well.
what I have. I
Yeah,
have a Cobra, the one before the Rad Speed, Speed Zone.
Speed
I
zone.
have the
That's
Speed Zone 3 wood.
yep. But if I'm
Oh, and
gonna
then
go
I
with,
have
oh, go ahead.
I keep forgetting. I have a hybrid.
Yeah, you have a hybrid as well.
I
That's what I need. That's
I
what I'm
have
thinking about getting.
the King F8 hybrid because it used to
Yep,
match my old driver, which was the F8 Plus and
yep.
that Nardo Gray.
But if I'm gonna go like because I'm a big TW fan,
Are
like
you looking like the old
98%. I
Nike
want to
stuff?
go. I would go with like a sick pair of old Nike VR Pro Blade TWs with this
Mm,
TW stamp on them, or even the P790 TaylorMade irons, which I think
yeah.
shout out Dale. I think that's what Dale was rocking. So if I ever hit a hole in one with him, he said he'd give me a set. So
I I guess if we're going that route, I would really like to try the Ricky Fowler blades just to see how small they are behind that ball.
yeah,
Those copper ones that Cobra
those look
made,
really cool.
they look sweet. I just want to try them. I don't want them, but I just want to see
Try it
what
out.
it looks like.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, great question.
Um, this one I think we're both gonna have the same answer on. Although saying that out loud, I think my answer is gonna be different than yours.
You were
So I
thinking
take
we
it
were gonna
back.
have the same, and then
Yeah.
okay, what is it?
So back nines only. So I'm assuming this is the other two guys. Jeans on the golf course.
Oh man, I've seen jeans so many times on the golf course. It really depends on where you're at.
I'm gonna say yes, depending on the weather.
Uh, I'm not a no.
So
I
my
never. I just can't.
I mean I've had the luxury of looking at this question for 8 hours now. So shout out those guys. I completely understand, and I think this is the issue with your response. Do you know how expensive golf pants are?
They're not cheap.
They're like $70 for a pair of pants you wear twice a year. Why can't they wear jeans? I get it if there's like a dress code, then you probably shouldn't,
I
but like at your local like 9 hole course.
but a lot of people technically wear their golf pants as like work appropriate attire. People
Yeah.
they're so they could.
I have the Adidas ones that are meant to be worn kind of as like an
Yeah,
everyday
so it
pant.
is kind of more of like a
I wear them as like dressy
business.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say that yeah, you can get away with using golf pants for more than just golf. So I really just depends. I think it depends on like the where you're at.
Hmm.
Like in Minnesota, for example, I don't. There's certain courses that you would not. I'm talking public courses that you would never see jeans that they wouldn't allow it.
Right.
And then there's ones when you go kind of out in the middle of nowhere,
Hmm.
it's just wear whatever the heck you want. So
Basically,
if
yeah.
you want to wear jeans, by all means, go ahead. But that's just not my thing.
I would chafe and get really hot.
Well, especially if it's like yeah, warm. Like if it's fall, then I could understand why you're wearing
Well,
jeans.
that's
But
kind of that's where my brain went. I was like,
yeah,
well, what if it's cold?
yeah,
Because it's cold here a lot.
I don't
If
see
people
too.
don't know that.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah,
One of my favorite ones, and I argue with Greg about it. So this is from the Pioneer Six. A full breakdown on when Minnesota decided to model their unis after Florida State and why. It's about the Gophers
when they modeled the what?
and their uniforms after the Florida State uniforms. So I learned something today. So thank you, Greg. Did you know the Gophers were founded before Florida State?
They were, yeah. I think they were
20
one of the
years.
oldest. They were like one of the oldest
So
teams
so
actually that existed.
if we put that out there, Florida State copied the Gophers. Boom. Next question. So this is from Beard from Sucker Pin. If you could be any cartoon characters, who would you be?
That's a random question.
I love it. I've been thinking
Great
about it
question,
all
Beard.
day because
Shout out Beard.
I have two answers.
All right, go ahead.
One, I'd want us to be cat dogs. We could bug the shit out of each other.
Dog, oh my gosh. I forgot about that.
Cat dog would be sweet.
Didn't even think about cat dog.
Yeah, cat dog.
Man, that's got
Why? Why I remembered a cat dog? No idea. Because I don't think I'm old enough
dude,
to
that was
really
in the
know
left
cat
field.
dog.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like that's like older than what you really.
No, it is. But I remember. I think I watched reruns. And then my second one, like if we're being serious, I'd love to be Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
Because Stitch is the shit.
Stitch is pretty cool.
Stitch is sweet. Dude, does okay? Maybe you don't know, but like, can Stitch like? Is he like invincible?
I don't know.
I think he can grow arms and stuff, and he gets a little blaster. I'm Stitch, dude, all the way.
Those are good answers.
I know.
And I really like that's a
This is why
stump me.
I didn't
It's
show
not,
you any of them.
yeah, because you really put me on the spot. Honestly, like cartoon wise, I think this might be totally like
Is it rated like PG?
Yeah, yeah, it's totally yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Arnold.
Like from Hey Arnold,
Yeah.
like the football head.
Yeah,
I remember Arnold.
because he was out here, his like his best friend, dude, and he had the sick. His house was like on top of the building, like in New
Yeah,
York
yeah,
City, had like the world's coolest room.
yeah.
I mean, he literally could see the whole city. And I think I think he had a
When I
really good
was
best friend, and I think like, I mean, first off, I can't really think of any other characters I could think
when
of
I
that was
was
like,
really little, I don't. It was like on the educational channel because my parents made me watch educational stuff. Which
no,
hindsight 2020
yeah, no,
rocked. Um, there's some where these cartoon characters would like travel through time and like learn about things. I don't want to be one of them because it'd be kind of cool to like go back in time and watch and like figure out who built the pyramids.
that's a good.
Even though I'm
Yeah.
like 95% sure it's the Egyptians.
Now, wondering if like Beard's thinking like disappointed us because like hoping like we were gonna go with like a South Park character or something.
I'm not into those. Like I'm not into Family Guy. I'm not into South Park.
That's another one. Family Guy, South Park. Those are so I don't really watch South Park, but I've watched plenty of it to
You
like
know what
know
I
this.
surprisingly am really into? There's one on Hulu, and I can't think of it now that I started talking about it. But they're like aliens that come to Earth, and like they have to like figure out how to get off Earth.
Okay, not Futurama.
No, no, no. Oh, Futurama's good.
But what about friggin' Bart Simpson? We totally missed Bart Simpson.
I'm good being Stitch, dude. Stitch
I
is the
know, but we
shit.
totally that's arguably the world's most famous cartoon character, Bart.
I'd say Homer.
Sure, yeah, okay, I'd go with Bart or Homer, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
that's a good question. I mean that I guess you could really I'm sure like after the fact they're gonna probably put out some like, dude, you totally missed like
Yeah,
friggin'
Beard's gonna send us a 4-page DM about how we're wrong
totally missed
and
on
how
that.
we should have been like some random dude from some random episode of Futurama.
But I love that. Good question.
They seem like the guys that I just binge Futurama, and that's not a negative because I've definitely binged it. But that was back when it was like super cool to stay up until 2 a.m. You could tell your buddies, and that's all that was on TV. Um, I really like this guy's username, and it's Random Golf Man.
Shout out Random Golf Man.
I think that's a sweet name. It's not a Safe Park Golf podcast though. He wants to know Plants vs Zombies. I've never played it, so I'm gonna go Plants because plants give us oxygen.
Wait, what do we mean by Plants vs
I
Zombies?
don't know. That's literally just what it says. Plants vs
Are
Zombies.
we
I know it's like a game.
Oh, okay, so that totally I'm probably way too old for this
I've
question.
never played it.
I can't really
I'm
answer that.
picking
Knowledge.
Plants.
Plants? Okay, yeah.
Plants.
I'll check it out and then let you know on the next episode. How about that?
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about the one with your wife. We're gonna skip that one.
You don't want to talk about pickleball?
No, I
The
don't.
fastest growing sport in the industry right now.
Dude, stop. I'll mute you. Swear to God. I'll cut it out. There'll be like a random skip,
What is going on?
and Derek will be like, "Dom, what'd you do?"
Pickleball, tell me.
Timothy from Break 80. He's like, "Hey, talk about the Break 80 podcast. Minnesotan dudes, love them.
Shout out.
We've been trying to work with them, just has not happened and lined up yet. We have not forgotten about you guys.
It'll definitely happen for sure.
I've met them, great group of guys. I'm excited to figure out how to work with them, whether that's live in person or
That'd be really
over
cool.
Zoom.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a fun one to maybe start next year with, and maybe that's something we should bounce off of them. But
Yep.
that is definitely one that is still we'd still like to work with you guys. Um, like I'm not that type of person to get something going and then stop.
Yeah.
Um, Big Tim, he's part of the Odin crew.
The Safe Bar Golf podcast is brought to you by the Nuke Factory at Odin Golf. Losing and donating expensive golf balls adds up very quickly. The crew at Odin Golf has engineered premium balls for every player type. They're critically acclaimed, USGA approved, and top 10 on Amazon. The best part? With Odin, you never have to dent your wallet. We love the Odin darts at Save Par and also believe going balls out shouldn't break the bank. Reload without the guilt at odingolf.com. That's odin-golf.com and use code SAVEPAR for 15% off. Odin Golf, ready to go balls out? Shout out Big
He's from
Tim.
Australia. Most bizarre thing that happened to you on the course or someone you know. We watched that dude have a heart attack.
And lived.
Did he live?
Well, he got revived. We don't know if he remember
Well, that's true.
that guy did say that that he got.
Yeah, we watched a dude have a heart
Yeah,
attack
we were-
when we were warming up.
Yeah, we're on the driving range, and next thing you know, a fire truck come up. Some guys doing CPR on another guy on the 18th hole, and fire department showed up. Ambulance showed up right in the middle of the 18th fairway, and luckily for the guy, I think the guy that he was with saved his life. So it's
I
probably the
wonder if he had like a
craziest
heart
thing.
attack out of joy, where he's just like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that happened," and then just dead.
Yeah, maybe he actually hit it in the cup.
Maybe we
And he
don't
just
know.
freaking yeah. But the good
Maybe
news is he lived. The guy saved his life. So that's probably the craziest thing
I
I've
don't
seen,
think
of
there's
course.
anything that's been like really like
Top that.
bizarre.
That's at least top that because that's pretty crazy. I don't think you really ever see that.
No, I
Um,
mean I watched my buddy get a hole in one, but like
I watched myself get a hole in one too.
I have not been that lucky.
So
Um, I guess the when I first read that, I thought of heart attack guy.
yep.
So
Yeah, that's probably what I would say too.
I responded to the question just because I wanted to respond to it. I said tacos. So you don't talk about tacos? Talk about tacos?
Talk about tacos.
Yeah,
Do you want to talk about
not
tacos?
really.
Okay, yeah.
I
We literally tacos is like probably the number one
literally
trending thing that we talk
so
about
like
on the
going back to
podcast.
that group chat we're in, it's like 95% tacos.
Yeah,
And it's
which is nothing wrong with tacos. Tacos are like
only
one of the
because Nelson's in it
yeah.
and the
Shout out
Gulf
Nelson.
Arrows.
We do so many shout outs. I love it though.
Well, the people we shout out are people that we communicate with on a pretty regular
Heck yeah,
basis.
for
So
sure.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, and then Jared said the future of golf, live, and golf tech. So I think he wants us to talk about his smart grip.
Yes, and it's under a different name now, but the technology itself is very cool.
That's one I really want to reach out about and try for next year.
Yeah,
See how that,
absolutely.
because obviously we're getting to that point where it's like I might play like one more round, or maybe I'll just go and play 9 by myself just to
Yep.
play. But at this point in the year, it wouldn't really do me any good to say, "Hey, I'll test it for you," and then not give it back to him until like
Right.
this
Yeah,
time next
I
year.
mean, we can hit it in a simulator, but it's just not the same as or
No,
Top Golf technically too, but still, it's just not
I
the
mean
same.
I hit things super straight at Top Golf, but then when I go play golf, it's not super straight. It's very much to the right.
It's a little different. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Those are awesome questions, though.
yeah.
Keep those coming. I think we should try to definitely do. Well, we talked about it with. Why am I drawing a blank on my boy's name at the park train?
Evan.
Evan. Yes, good. Thanks for that.
Shout out to Evan. He's
Shout out
married
Evan.
now.
Yes, congrats.
That sounds like it's rough.
No, it's the best ever. But seriously, it is.
Seriously though, shout out Evan. I mean, he's great.
But we
Call me
talked
Colin
about
Morikawa.
yes. What did we he has done like the mail bags or whatever. Like he does like calls and things
Yeah,
like that. Which
I don't
is a little,
know. I don't know how to do that.
it might be difficult because we do it.
Post.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So,
really, I mean, I thank you for everybody who actually like responded because sometimes these do really well,
mhm.
and sometimes it's just like we get 3 questions and it's like thank you, but like I'd love. It was such a good variety of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Um,
I think it helps too the fact that we keep on putting out this content. We're getting more and more engagement, and so we appreciate all the followers, all the listeners. So keep them coming, keep the questions coming. We'll try to think of different. Um, maybe we'll pick like a topic each time that we do like a solo,
yeah,
and then like we have people talk. Might bring
yeah.
something golf related or something or food related into that discussion. So
So I know we're not talking about our goals that we made, but like one goal I really wanted to talk about was maybe you're on board, maybe you're not. Starting next year, I want to take like one episode a week and just not have guests. Just have this, keep people up to date. I love doing the fan questions. Because
I'd
the
be
way,
down with that if like it's like a 20 to 30 minute episode
yeah,
versus like a 40 to
yeah.
like an hour.
The way I think about it is people found the podcast with just 2 guys talking about golf, not 2 guys a guest every week.
Yep.
I love doing these solo ones. One, the questions are great, but two, I just feel like I feel kind of weird about having like a promo before an episode, and that
Sure.
promo has nothing to do with the guest.
Sure.
I guess when we have a guest, I'd really like to give the guest the entire floor, but I'd really love to show love to all the other brands that have worked with us, all the other brands that want to work with us. So that's kind of my thought processes.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in that. Don't get me wrong, like I love doing the recordings that we're doing right now solo because that is how we started and we
Mhm.
continue to grow. But there is something unique about talking to somebody
I love
through
having the
Zoom
guests.
and
Yeah.
picking their brain and just talking about how they got into the game of golf
And-
and like where they're at. So yeah, I agree.
And there have been so many that's like even after the fact, we're still on for like another hour.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade those for anything. Like some of those experiences we have that we
Sure.
like cannot talk about. have been like phenomenal. Like the Molly one to me always sticks
Yeah,
out.
that
Like
was
we're
awesome.
not gonna get too into depth of what happened after, but that's a moment that like you and I never thought we'd have.
Very cool. Yeah, it was awesome. Fantastic. Um,
That's such a cliffhanger. I don't even care.
yep. No, we're gonna end at that. So we do have several guests lined up. Next week, we might have a guest, we might not. We're still working on that.
We're looking.
But everything after that, we have a guest lined up.
Do you
So
want to tell them? Get people kind of excited? Because I guess if you listen to this point, you're pretty invested in us.
yeah. So the next guest that we have on, we are super excited about.
So on October 25th, we're having Govern.
Yes.
And Govern, what he does is it's more sneaker related, but it's super cool. He'll take and soul swap shoes.
Yep.
So our boy Jeff over at Chasing Aces had a very limited and very special Kobe that Nike had gave him, and now it has a golf sole. I think that is super cool. That is one that we are super excited for, being lovers of shoes and sneakers, stuff like that. Um, November 1st to kick it off, we got Trolls Golf Club. We're super
Yeah.
excited to be
Super
working
excited
with
with Charles
them.
Golf Club. Yep.
Don't know how much we can talk about, so we're not going to talk about too much with them, but we are very excited to have them on and kind of learn about what they are doing in the NFT world and how potentially you guys could be involved.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I was starting to read the next one.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
No, I meant like let's not tell them all the rest.
oh no. Oh, the guess?
Yeah.
I want to talk.
Okay.
I want to talk about the next one. After
Okay.
that, it'll be a secret.
Okay.
Because I'm super excited. Because
No, no, no.
the next one I've been such a big fan of, and I told you that, and then like immediately they were interested. November 8th, we're gonna have Kraken
Golf,
Golf.
baby. Yes.
I've been such a big fan of this guy for such a long time. And I'm super bummed out. Before we asked him to come on, he had little camera ball markers.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's so creative. The quality and just
The
there's a lot of limited.
craftsmanship,
Yeah, the
yeah,
craftsmanship is awesome. He's grown quite a bit too. I think he's got over like 30,000 followers now.
something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been such a big fan of him even before we started the podcast, like years before.
Yep.
I thought it's like from an art standpoint, unreal.
Yes.
From a golf and usability standpoint, super cool to see on the course.
And that's kind of where we're doing this solo episode, which again we love doing, and they're a blast. It's a little less, not as much pressure, so to speak.
It's not as
Just
hectic,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But we're going to talk to Govern, who literally like will dissect a really high end, expensive shoe and swap it with another sole, and now they'll wear them on the golf course. And they have a really big Instagram following, so we're getting that side of the golf game, and then now we're getting into somebody who's like into the craftsmanship, who makes putters, does divot tools, ball markers, and they're all like limited quantities, and the craftsmanship is just unreal. So and then Trolls Golf Club, who is basically, again, we'll get more into that, but they have a really cool idea
That involves NFTs and crypto.
yes, and
It's
so
not something we can talk a whole lot about yet.
yeah,
Although they didn't say we couldn't, but I don't want to.
yeah, we'll wait for
We'll wait for them to explain it better than we can, because they're very charismatic about it and something that they're very passionate about, and we're excited to give them a platform to talk about.
Yep. But it's just nice because we love to hit like kind of all angles of the golf industry. So
yeah, like I'm super pumped for Govern. I've followed him for
long time.
who knows how long
Yeah.
at this point. I love his stuff. That's another thing. It's like it's art, right? Like how often are you going to see a Kobe golf shoe? I don't think Nike will ever do that. But the fact that like
And
Jeff's
it's not just a golf shoe, like it's
right,
a lot
like
more than
Jeff's
that.
shoes mean something,
Yep.
right? It's not just like, hey, I want this golf shoe to be replaced. It's it's a piece of art that you can wear.
Yep. So stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. Again, we got a lot of awesome guests, and then like I said, we're pretty much booked out until December. So we'll release some of the other guests that we have along the way. Thanks for listening, and we will be back on next week with Govern.
No, it's 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now. I'm sorry. Next week we might have a guest. We might not. Might be another solo, but I think we'll have a guest.
Working on it.
We're working on it.
Working on it. If
So.
not, it'll just be we should do something interesting just in case.
Yeah, we'll come up with some cool ideas.
We can go get food.
There we go. We can do it live from a restaurant.
Oh God,
No,
it sounds like a lot of work I don't want to do.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Have a happy Friday.
Yeah, I guess it's Tuesday, but when they listen to it, it'll be Friday.
Yes.
Drink some pops, as Odin says.